stand. We are well close to Manchester United versus Liverpool the night before. We're the night before. How are you feeling? John O'Connell in the live comments, I saw your name. I will shout you out. He said, it's time to be positive. It's time to get behind Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Look, I actually do agree with that. I do agree with that because I think if we can't be believers the night before this game, then why do we support this club? I think we've all got a right to not think that this might be the right manager, these might not be the right players, but it's Manchester United against Liverpool. We can't sign a new team. We can't bring a new manager in. We're going in against our biggest rivals. We've got to get behind the team, even if it's just for the next 24 hours. We've just got to hope against hope that we can do it. And I think we can do it. But Klopp obviously is not kidded by the words coming out of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's mouth. He's, in a nice way, because I think Klopp is a professional. He's basically mocked a lot of what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has said, saying things like, Manchester United have come out and said that this is the perfect game for them. I feel that Manchester United must be the only club in the country that feels that, because I think they've made a misunderstanding there, because not many teams would want to play Liverpool at the moment. So that is some people said that's arrogance. I think it's a statement of confidence. It's a statement of, look, we're not the perfect opposition for anybody. We've won every single game in the Premier League. We're a very good team, and we're not the perfect game for everybody. We're going to prove Manchester United why that. So coming into it, very, very confident to Old Trafford, not stepping back, going on the front foot. And I like that from Klopp, apart from the fact that he's doing it for the club I just can't stand. But, he's not messing around. He's also not convinced by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's statement about injuries. He expects Pogba to play tomorrow. He expects De Gea to play tomorrow. He expects Lingard to be involved tomorrow. He's not buying into it. He says, the media are presenting this game as a banana skin for Liverpool, putting 11 players in a combined 11, saying that United are beatable. Ollie's talking about injuries. Klopp's not expecting any of these things. He's coming into the game focused, ready, and not ready to be playing mind games with everybody. To be honest with you, I think he might be a little bit wrong. I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer plays mind games. I think he literally does let the opposition know his weaknesses in advance so you can plan what to do. Now, he may, I hope, be doing it a little bit different against Liverpool. Maybe Pogba will play. Maybe De Gea will play. But if you look at Ole this season so far, he hasn't got any problems with sitting with a smile on his face and telling people days in advance that Martial and Pogba will not play. So I don't think we will see Pogba play tomorrow. I don't think we will see De Gea play tomorrow, because I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is telling the truth. But Klopp clearly thinks that it is actually mind games, and I don't think it is. But what I am impressed with Klopp, and I really hope that one day we can become this club again, I even know, and I am old enough, when Manchester United were brilliant under Sir Alex Ferguson, I never liked the Anfield game. I never did. It was the one game of the season that I was always, even if we were 2-0 up, always on tenterhooks, because it was such an important game. And I always knew, no matter how bad Liverpool were, they would be up for it. And if they beat us, in some ways, it didn't matter if we won the league, because if Liverpool beat us, they would take that as the biggest thing ever. Which sounds totally wrong now, because obviously winning the league is more important. But I don't think I ever went to Anfield as a United fan and felt that, Manchester United went to Anfield and I felt as a United fan that, we're going to win here, I'm confident, because it's always a difficult game. So that confidence that Klopp is showing that, we're not the perfect game for Manchester United. We're a really good team. Nobody wants to play us. So if United think we're a good team to play right now, let's show them it's a misunderstanding. It's confidence. It's real confidence. And I think they're going to come with that tomorrow. And in many ways, I'm quite excited about that, because I'm like, you know what? I want Liverpool to come and have a go at this team. Because if it is shit and if it is not good enough, then we need to know that. But also, if Liverpool come and give it their best and we get something out of it, well, there's your building blocks to build from. So I'm excited about tomorrow. I'm still standing by. I think it'll be a draw. Jay Singh says, how has your day been, Mark? Good. We were doing That's Football at 3 o'clock, watching all the games and interacting about that. Really good. But lots and lots to talk about tonight as well. Welcome to Judith Montenegro, the latest member of the United Stand Members Club. Sir Alex Ferguson was at Carrington today. Very clever. Look, you're not going to get much negativity out of me tonight, and I will admit that to you now. And I will say this, I think there's been a lot of negativity around Manchester United, but I also feel that there's a time where you've got to go, look, we're Manchester United. I don't know whether I trust this manager. I don't trust the board. I don't trust a lot of these players. I don't think we're good enough. Last time I checked, we're 14th. I mean, look, I don't know if you're like me. I didn't check the league table before the international break. I checked the league table today. It's the first time I can ever remember looking at the league table and having to swipe down to find out where we are. 14th in the bloody league. And, you know, it's a joke. It's a joke. And that's why tomorrow we've got to get something, because we can't be saying, oh, if we lose to Liverpool, we'll beat Norwich next week. We are 8 points off Leicester and Chelsea in 4th place. 8 points off 4th place. That needs to be 7 or 5 tomorrow. We can't be 8 points off 4th place after 9 games or 8 games, 9 games. We can't be. So we've got to get something tomorrow. But as I said, confidence is one thing, positivity is another. But as I've said before, this is Manchester United against Liverpool. There are no excuses. I don't care if the whole team's injured. It's Manchester United against Liverpool. And because I believe that this team is going to produce something, I am not going to go into it negative. Maybe this time tomorrow night, match reaction, fan cams, whatever, people will be. But for now, this is my club. This is the biggest game of the season. And I don't actually think negativity will help, because those players and that manager have got to do what they're going to do. So I will be positive from this point. I will say, come on, let's go and do something against our biggest rivals. I believe we can do it. I expect we're going to do it. And I thought that the club get a lot of things wrong. They don't interact with people like ourselves enough. They listen to people who are ex-players who want jobs at the club and will just bend over with the lube tube. Like, we collectively are the voices they should listen to, because we collectively are passionate about our club. We can see where they're going wrong and we want to get back where we need to be. And we're not just going to sit back and go, it's fine, we'll trust you. They should be listening to us. They get so much wrong. Jesse Lingard in the latest kits, when he's absolutely terrible on the pitch, is wrong. But what they got right today, perfectly I would say, was pictures of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Michael Carrick with Sir Alex Ferguson on the eve of a massive game. I think the club get a lot wrong. They got that right, because as soon as I saw that picture, I thought, Sir Alex Ferguson, you are the best thing that's ever happened to Manchester United over the last 20 years. Absolutely super. 30 years really, isn't it? Absolutely amazing. Amazing manager. And to see him with Sir Alex Ferguson, Michael Carrick, yes, it's historic. Yes, it's archaic. But it stirs up those emotions and it makes you feel that maybe something can happen tomorrow. So I thought that was very clever by the club. Whether it was accidental or not, I thought it was very clever. And it does give us something on this eve of a massive game to cling on to. It is a little bit like Christmas Eve tonight. But it's a little bit like Christmas Eve when you're poor and you're not expecting a Mega Drive tomorrow. You're going to wake up and get a cassette player. Yes, this did happen to me. But, you know, on Christmas Eve, you start to think, well, maybe, just maybe Santa will come and empty his sack. Not like that, with a Sega Mega Drive. And I think that's what we're a little bit like tonight. This game is a magical game. Whether you're a Liverpool fan or a United fan, this game is a magical game. Anything can happen in it. And tomorrow morning, we could wake up, and tomorrow evening, we could be sat there with 3 points. Or it could be the Christmas crap presents we're expecting. We'll have to wait and see. Sorry to say this, Mark, but how can we get behind part the bus football? A draw doesn't do anything for us, while a draw, Liverpool will still be top. Jordan Such, can I be absolutely honest with you? If somebody said to me now, you can take a draw or gamble for a win tomorrow, I would take a draw. I would take a draw tomorrow, because I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid. And I think that, look, I will refuse to have Manchester United's expectations lowered. I think that's wrong. But I know how good Liverpool are. And I think a point tomorrow for us, where we are, would be something. And I think if you refused the draw and went for the win, you'd end up with nothing. I don't think we're good enough to beat Liverpool. That doesn't mean we won't beat them, but I think if you played that game 10 times, we'd probably lose it 7 or 8. So I would take the draw tomorrow, because you then hopefully you take that positivity into the next games and win. Mark, if we get thumped, will you be Ollie out then? This is Brian Murphy. I don't know. I mean, Brian, I haven't thought about it. I mean, I think that, you know, sometimes those sort of conversations are best left maybe till Monday. I mean, I'm sure if we get beat 4-0 in my match reaction, I'll say something that reactionary, because that's what I do, and the pressure and the passion, is running high. I would make my decision on Monday when I've had a little bit of time to think about it. But I haven't really given it much thought. I don't know whether you lot have. Have you thought, if we lose tomorrow, that's it, you're done with Ollie? Have you not given it much thought like me? I mean, I am still Ollie in, although this week has pushed me hard. It has pushed me hard. But that's a chat for after the game. I think for now, he is our manager. These are our players. Let's go and see what we can do. Nick P says, can people stop saying we're going to park the bus tomorrow? It implies Ollie is tactically aware enough to implement a style of play that may work. Yeah, we do park the bus, Nick P, but I don't necessarily... I mean, Nick makes a very good point there. We do park the bus as Manchester United, but I don't think we necessarily... It's not by design. I don't think that's the... I mean, you listen to what Ollie said on Friday, and he's saying that players aren't taking enough risks. He wants them to take more risks. They play the safe ball too much. I don't actually think this is... The way we play is the way Ollie wants us to play. I just think it's the players not following what he wants and him not being able to get it across. So it ends up being very negative and defensive. But I don't think that is the actual plan. And also, let me just bring in this. Manchester United apparently walked away from a deal for Bruno Fernandes because Bruno Fernandes takes too many risks. On Friday, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said his players aren't taking enough risks. You couldn't write it. Funny feeling we will get a result tomorrow, says Jay Singh. You know what? There'll be a lot of people feeling like that. And I'm not surprised, Jay. I think we can do it. It's Manchester United against Liverpool. Form goes out the window if you approach the game in the right way. We're at home as well. Klopp's talking a big game, says Sean Byrne. Would seem they're coming for 3 points tomorrow, unlike last season. I think they know that last season, them and Manchester City achieved a ridiculous run-in of winning however many games in a row, and both of them virtually getting 100 points. You actually cannot play for a point. You know, last year, I think at Old Trafford, Klopp thought that a point at Old Trafford was a good point. In hindsight, he should have gone for us in that second half. I think tomorrow they will. Where do you think will be the game won? Midfield battle? Who are you most worried about? Mane, Salah, etc. How do you see the game panning out? I'm not worried about Salah. I'm not worried about Mane because I think Salah's been kept quiet at Old Trafford a lot. Mane will be up against Wan-Bissaka, hopefully. And I think Firmino can be dealt with by our centre-back. So I'm not really worried about their front three so much. I just think the game will be won and lost in the midfield. And that's where I'm worried because... You know, Salah might score, Mane might score, Firmino might score. It doesn't mean the defenders have done badly, but if their attackers are breaking on our back four, you've got to go to the ball. You know, if Wijnaldum's running at the back four, Maguire's got to go out for the ball. And if he goes out for the ball and Wijnaldum slips in Firmino and Firmino scores, that's not necessarily Maguire's fault. It's the runners you get off the midfield that causes the defence problems. So that's where I think it could be problematic. I must just say as well, top line of video description, 6 days now until the Ryan Giggs United Stand event. Still some tickets available. If you want to get yourself down there, I'm there, Flex is there, Rance is there, Ryan Giggs is there. It's going to be a fantastic evening. You can come along in your shirt and tie. Really, really good event. There's still some tickets available. Link is in the video description. Really looking forward to seeing everybody who's going to be there. I think it's going to be a very interesting night because obviously Ryan Giggs, Liverpool, I'd love to be asking him questions now. I think if we lose tomorrow, we're really going to love to ask him questions. But if we win, we're really going to love asking questions. So it's going to be a fantastic evening. If you want to be there, the link is in the video description. Get yourself down there. Looking forward to meeting you. And I'm sure we'll all go out for a few beers afterwards and during. Do you think Twansibi will play, says Hackenby? I think he will. And I don't know where people think about this because I don't think Lindelof deserves to be dropped. But I also think Twansibi won't be dropped either. So I think Lindelof's going to find himself out of the team. Whereas I'd like to find a way where we play Lindelof, Maguire and Twansibi, to be honest with you. We are playing the best team in the league, like it or not, lads. A draw is a good result. Just give it a bit of time and we will compete, says Robert Brennan. Positivity. But let me, I've got to, this is a topical show as well. I've got to talk to you about topics as well. Please do smash a like on the video, by the way. But Ander Herrera's obviously PSG player now, and in an interview he's actually said this, that no Manchester United player believed they could beat Paris Saint-Germain in Paris. A few people have jumped on that and said, is that a demonstration of the weak mentality of Manchester United? I read the quote and I actually think what he was trying to say is that, look, United came to Paris not expecting to win. They didn't think they could do it. But PSG didn't take advantage of that and put in a very unlike PSG performance. I think he was trying to build up his new team whilst also exposing what we already know. We already, Ander Herrera's not, solving a problem there. We know this team's a bunch of bottlers. We know they down tools against teams that they should be doing better against. So I don't have a problem with what Herrera said. We don't see this set of players turn up enough. If they can't turn up tomorrow, And I'm not saying they are going to turn up, but if you can't turn up at Old Trafford against Liverpool, then you've really got to look at yourself and wonder why you're a professional footballer, which is why I'm expecting something tomorrow. Because am I expecting something at Norwich and Bournemouth away? Well, look at Norwich. They've got no centre-backs. Look at Bournemouth. They can't even beat Norwich at home. That's 6 points there. That is 6 points there. Do I expect United to go and get 6 points? No, because they're the sort of games that we fail in. But tomorrow, against Liverpool, we've got to get something. We've got to. Because if you can't produce the passion, desire and ability in a game like that, then you shouldn't be wearing the shirt. If we lost tomorrow, what's the relegation zone scenario, says Clifford Dollar. Well, we can't be in the bottom three tomorrow because I think Newcastle, Norwich and Watford are bottom three and they've all played, so we can't be there. But I think we're a point off the bottom three at the moment. We're a point off third from bottom. If Newcastle had got a point, we would have been not in the bottom three because of goal difference. I miss Herrera so much, says Illa United. Yeah, me too, mate, me too. I definitely do. We are 14th in the league at the moment. Yes, we are. And I don't want to dwell. Look, that's something for Monday or tomorrow night. I mean, we are 14th in the league at the moment. I'm sure we'd all like to be in a better situation, and maybe we will. But tomorrow will tell us all about that. A little bit of transfer news. Mandzukic is not training with Juventus at the moment, and people think that this is because he's going to be coming to Manchester United. I'll say what I said on That's Football this afternoon. Mandzukic has got offers from Qatar. If he comes to Manchester United, he's going to get paid a lot of money, and we're going to have to pay a transfer fee. And he's 34 in May. I just don't like that deal. Emre Can is available and apparently available for £35 million. I like this deal. He is Premier League proven. He is a German international. He's only 25. He's got 6 years, 7 years at the top left in him, and he's available for £35 million. That deal, apart from the fact that he used to play for Liverpool, that deal is perfect for Manchester United. You know, would you sign Emre Can if you were Manchester United fighting for titles? No, you wouldn't. Would you sign Emre Can for 35 million if you're Manchester United and you can't even get in the top four? Yes, you would. Liverpool didn't want him to go. He left because he was out of contract. He is the sort of signing we should be looking at. And if you're asking me whether I want Emre Can for 35 million or I want Declan Rice for 65 million, it's Emre Can every day of the week. And that's a deal I would do. It's a deal you'll have seen me say I don't want to do in the summer because he plays for Liverpool. But I think that summer, it's gone. That summer's gone. We're in the autumn now. And we're approaching winter, and it's going to be cold. Winter is coming. And with Emre Can, I didn't want him in the summer, but that's because in the summer, everything was on the table. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was telling us, you'll be surprised at the quality of player that wants to come here. The club were letting it be known. We've got loads of money to spend, and we came out with it with no midfielders. Where we are now, I would take Emre Can. Where we are now, I would take Gareth Bale. I didn't want him in the summer either. I expected us to do better things. We did nothing. So of course I'd take Bale and Can. Mark, my toes are so stinky, want a sniff, says Pure Gaming. You do the same comments every day and it's not even funny. Spit Fred Dubstep 13 says, have you seen Tifo Football's video? They said we spend 500k a week on loan interest and we have spent 810 million on debt altogether, thanks to the Glazers. Mate, I don't need to watch a video to tell me that. I mean, don't have the exact figures. We were bought on debt. We've never cleared the debt. The debt isn't that much. You know, it's still pretty much the same as what it was when they took us over. Of course, the loan, you know, if you're in debt, you've got to pay loan repayments. If 800 million wasted on debt repayments doesn't surprise me. But, you know, I've always said this about the Glazers. People say, when are you going to get behind the Glazer out movement? I've never been in front of it. I've always been behind it because I never wanted them from day one. But what I always say is, and why I didn't go mad about it in the summer, is I said it will disappear when the season starts. You had a Glazer out movement that was trending Glazer out in June and July, and then the transfer window closes. It's the worst transfer window we've ever had because we don't bring any midfielders in, and the Glazer out movement disappears. And we have the worst start we've ever had in the Premier League, and the Glazer out movement disappears. So I'm glad I didn't put my name behind it in the summer and start doing the protests and everything like that, because it wasn't worth the paper it was written on. Nobody's doing anything about it now. Personally, I'm Glazer out, always have been. I never wanted non-United fans to buy us on debt. But I've always said, you can't be Glazer out just because we've had a bad start to the season and a bad transfer window. You should be Glazer out when we were winning Premier League titles. You should be Glazer out when they let Tevez and Ronaldo go and they brought Michael Owen and Obertan in. You should be Glazer out when we won the Champions League, because ultimately they've been eroding the club for ages. They are a disease. They are bad for this football club. And the money that's been wasted on their debt repayment is a disgrace. Who me? What are the top 16 buys as a first-team striker, a 34-year-old frontman? At best, Spurs had Llorente as a backup. Buy Mandzukic tells me a lot. Exactly. It tells you a lot of things. It tells you we're clueless. It tells you we're cheap. We don't want to spend proper money. And it tells you we're desperate. Easy. Funny how Klopp thinks Ollie is playing mind games to Sebastian Sharma. Yeah, going back to the very start of the video then, Jurgen Klopp has sort of mocked United and said, I don't know why they think we're such an easy game, not an easy game. Why they think we're the perfect game? Nobody wants to play us at the moment, and we need to show United that it's a misunderstanding. They don't want to play us. And he also said he doesn't believe the mind games of Ollie that Pogba and Lingard and De Gea won't play tomorrow. He thinks it's mind games. I don't think it is, Klopp. I don't think it is, Jurgen. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer genuinely tells the opposition managers days in advance who's playing and who's not. Naive, stupid, whatever. I don't expect them to play tomorrow, and I'll be very impressed if Ollie has tried a mind game, because he doesn't normally. He tells everybody who's out. Remember the Arsenal game? The Arsenal game was on a Monday night. I think he had his press conference on the Thursday night because it was Europa, wasn't it? And he let it be known that Martial and Pogba weren't going to play, so I don't expect that. After Scouse rejects now, says Robert Barrow. Well, I hope you're a Liverpool fan, Robert, because he's not a Scouse reject, is he? He left of his own accord. You didn't want him to go, so he's not a Scouse reject. You didn't sell him. He was out of contract and he went. He wouldn't sign a new contract. So, I admit, ideally, you wouldn't take any ex-Liverpool player at United, but I think at the moment we're desperate, and, we've got to take the banter for that. We are desperate, definitely. What I found interesting, some people won't know who Jermaine Genius is. He's an Spurs pundit on the BBC now. And I actually tagged him in a tweet hoping he would reply, because I don't mind non-United fans and non-United ex-players having an opinion on Manchester United. Most of them make a bloody living of it. There's talk about ex-Liverpool players. Steve Nicol works for ESPN. I hadn't heard from him since the 80s. He used to play for Liverpool. He's forever being quoted on Manchester United. Never played for us, doesn't like us, but has an opinion on us, because it probably pays his bloody mortgage to talk about us. Because United, even if we got relegated, United would still be more newsworthy than any other club in England. That's just the way it is. Doesn't matter. I don't like that. I'd rather be successful, but we are the biggest newsworthy story. Which is why Jermaine Genius has opened his gob up. But what he's come out with is ridiculous. I don't understand why they got rid of Lukaku. They should have got rid of Martial, because there's that's his opinion, which is ridiculous. And also, Rashford gets all the stick, but Martial goes missing. Well, he's been injured, mate. But the big thing for me is Rashford's been playing for 8 months. He's atrocious, Jermaine. He's crap. We all want Rashford to be good, but he's rubbish. He puts free kicks into orbit. He's got no first touch. He closes his eyes on crosses, and when a cross comes into the box, he cements himself to the ground. He's playing really bad. Really bad. And no one wants to say that. We all want Rashford to be good, but he's playing really bad. Anthony Martial has got a bit of an injury problem, admittedly. But what are you trying to say? He goes missing with fake injuries. That's just ridiculous for a paid pundit on the BBC. So what you're saying is he goes missing on the football pitch? No, he doesn't. First 3 games of this season, he was arguably our best player of the season. His work rate, his hold-up play, he'd improved so much over the summer. So, to me, this is just another British pundit sticking up for British players and going in on easy targets. If you're going to comment on our football club, and I know it's painful, but actually watch some of our games, because you come across as a clown when you say we should have sold Martial and kept Lukaku, and Martial deserves the criticism that Rashford's getting. Wally. And another word beginning with W and ending in R. De Gea on the team bus, Mark, says James Frogley. Well, if he is on the team bus, then Klopp's been proven right. But I don't think that De Gea makes a massive difference, to be honest with you, because Romero's a decent goalkeeper, and at the end of the day, having De Gea back's good. and it makes us stronger. But it's the midfield. Pogba's the one we need back. He has put a post out saying that he's nearly back, but I don't expect Pogba to be back. Do you? Jermaine won't go in on Rashford because he's English, says Stephen Diak. Yeah, but we're getting bored of this, aren't we? Are we surely getting bored of this? Not even just as United fans. Are you not getting bored with the mainstream media and their bias? It's boring. I'm bored of it. It's almost making me not want to listen to it because the amount. In fact, to be honest with you, a lot of Sky Sports and a lot of Match of the Day. I just watch the football match and then if I'm watching Match of the Day, I either record it or I'll wait 20 minutes to watch it. I won't watch it live because then I can skip through the punditry, which makes no sense to me because it's nonsense, scripted shit. Reckless Jimbo 88 is the latest member of the United Stand Members Club. Welcome, pal. So yeah, look, I'm very, very, very optimistic about tomorrow. I'm not really. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to become a total wally before the game, but I'm looking forward to it. I am relaxed. I've not taken any sleeping pills to sleep. I will sleep fine tonight. I'm going to watch a film after this. Have a nice hot bath. Read my book in the bath. I'm not nervous about tomorrow, and I know a lot of people are, and I think I will be when the game kicks off. I don't think I've approached a Manchester United-Liverpool game like this in a long time. And I was trying to think why that was today. And I really think it is because we are, and I don't like to say the word, we're not the favourites. I'm never using the word underdogs. That's sackable. But we're not the favourites because we're not top of the league. We've not got a very good team and Liverpool have. However, I don't believe in that in a game like this. I've bored you to death with this over the last 3 days. I've seen United go to Anfield and play shit Liverpool teams when we've been brilliant. And they still put in a performance. So I expect United to put in a performance tomorrow. I've seen Liverpool go to Bramall Lane and win by a lucky goal. I don't think Liverpool, as good as they are a team that's going to come and beat us 4 or 5-0. I think if we play to the best of our ability, we can get something. And that something may only be a draw, but it's something. And I'm expecting that tomorrow. Once the game kicks off, of course, the passion and the nerves will kick in. And we'll see what happens on the other side. But at the moment, I'm relatively relaxed about it because I just feel that I have no faith in this team. I have no faith in the coaching at the moment, and they've got to prove that to us. So I think when you have no faith in them, the only expectation is that they go out and get something tomorrow. So I don't need to be nervous because the expectation is low. That's why I'm relaxed. Who me? Can see it a mile off. We will go 100 mile an hour the first 20 minutes. They will soak up the pressure, don't score in the first 20, and then they will start to dominate. I don't think you know what, who me? I'd be very happy with that. I'd be very happy if Manchester United went into a game and at home and in the first 10-15 minutes bombed forward and were passionate, but we never do. Look at the Arsenal game, chucking it down with rain at Old Trafford, and Arsenal took control. So I think we'll give up possession. I do. I think we'll give up possession. We'll invite them on and try and hit them on the break because we've done it so many times. We did it at Old Trafford against Chelsea. We did it against Leicester. I don't see us wanting to get hold of the ball. I see us letting Liverpool have the ball and trying to hurt them on the break because Liverpool will come at us. It's a difficult one if you're Liverpool because if I was Liverpool, I'd do what Humi said. I would go, look, they need to win. Let them just keep them quiet for the 20 minutes. Let's not be too expansive. Let's get the crowd quiet and frustrated, and then we'll play our game. If I was Liverpool, I'd play in the third gear for the first half an hour, and then I'd go up through the gears and try and do them. That's how I would approach it. But if Liverpool do start to attack, that is United's best chance to hurt them on the break. Penalties, mistakes, pace. That's how United do it. But Klopp will know as well what we know. The way to play against Manchester United and not lose is when you've got the ball, express yourself quickly, move the ball quickly and try and score a goal. When United have got the ball, get back into position, get everyone behind the ball, and United don't know what to do. If Liverpool do that, they'll definitely get at least a point. But I don't think Liverpool will do that. I think Liverpool will express themselves and they'll keep pressing and trying to express themselves, and that will leave a little bit of gaps at the back. But United's game plan, if a team actually does get men behind the ball, is redundant, as we saw against Newcastle. Joseph Maslanka says, do you think a hugely poor season, say finishing mid-table and no Europa, would change the board and structure of the club? No, I don't. I don't, Joseph. That's the thing that's depressing me more than anything at the moment, to think that next season it looks highly likely that we won't even have any European football. It's just depressing. It's depressing. And if I was in charge of the club, that's a reality. This is something that worries me at the moment. I'm not even... The current situation's horrible. But I'm already looking ahead and thinking this time next year, we probably won't have any European football. And that depresses the hell out of me, to think that we're playing one game a week as Manchester United. One game a week. It's terrifyingly depressing, that. So the board should be thinking that as well. If I was in charge, I'd be like, we might need to do something really, really quickly, because Christmas, this could all be too late. You know, we've got to get a certain amount of points between now and Christmas, and then in January invest, and then get more points between then and May. That's what's worrying me at the moment. We've got to start picking up points, and that's why a point tomorrow, that point could be massive, but also I think that point could be symbolic to go and get more points. If we lose tomorrow, you know, where are we at? No top 6 should be instant dismissal, says Breach. I think no European football should be instant dismissal. I agree. We will finish around 8th or 10th, says Andrew Nagia. He's depressed because he resembles Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, saw his sauce, says Big Mac and Fries. 4-2-3-1 will get the best out of this game. Daniel James will destroy any right back at Liverpool tomorrow, and that's a fact, says Kenny Rivers. He's confident. Martial and De Gea are back, says Atif Shah. Well, I think we always knew that Martial was back, but Martial isn't match fit, and that's the problem, isn't it? Do you chuck Martial into a game like this, who's not match fit, against the likes of Matip and Van Dijk? It's a big, big ask for Martial to do anything. Be interesting to see. Aaron Wan-Bissaka I expected to be fit Awara, so that's good news. Couldn't work in your favour if you got couldn't work in your favour if you got no European football, because look at what Chelsea done last time. They won the league, says Patrick Quinn. Yeah, but this squad's never going to win the league anyway, is it? It's never going to win the league. It's not good enough. Apparently Matic isn't in the squad, says Stephen McManus. I don't know whether he was carrying an injury. I mean, you get a lot of rumours the night before the game because it's all about who's at the hotel, isn't it? Lucas Wong says no to Emre Can. You can't have ex-Liverpool players at United. I mean, that's the stumbling block. I would agree. That is the stumbling block. My prediction for tomorrow, James Bosworth, is 0-0. Actually, I would like to get a snapshot of how people are feeling tonight, actually. That was one of the things I wanted to do. I think 0-0 or 1-1. That's what I'm going to go with. But get in the comments and tell us what you think. And Paul Robinson, one of our moderators, says he played Pogba with an injury against Rochdale. He'll definitely chuck Martial in. Yeah, we'll see. LJW says Mane will destroy Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I mean, I really hope they do go head to head, because that's a combination that I'm really looking forward to see. Just out of curiosity as well, not just because Man United versus Liverpool. Gary Clark says 0-0. Vandy Candy says 1-1. 0-3 says Harry Plays. 0-5 says Ryan Edwards. 0-2. I mean, the great thing about these score predictions is no one's saying 2 or 3-0 to United. We ain't got 2 or 3 goals. If United were to beat Liverpool, it's going to be 1 goal. We haven't got that in us to do that. And they're a very good defensive side as well. As a Liverpool fan, Liverpool will be lucky to get a draw tomorrow. It's Old Trafford. It's not easy, says Ian Linham. I do think that you should be going expecting to win, to be honest. What would be the point playing Martial tomorrow when he's not fit and could get injured worse, says Stephen Diak? Desperation to save your job. That would be the point, I would imagine. That's the same reason Pogba played against Rochdale for 90 minutes, isn't it? I mean, playing Paul Pogba against Rochdale, what was that all about when he was injured? Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Paul Robinson says, do players actually rule themselves out ever, Mark? Yes, Paul, they do. Players will say that they're not up for it. Manager can't force them to play. You think about the contracts these players have signed and everything like that. You can't force a player to play if they say they're not fit. That's happened quite a few times. And it's happened a lot at United as well. Players saying that they're not fit to play. Daniel Sturridge was a prime example of it at Liverpool. He was forever ruling himself out with knocks and everything. Why do we have a ball-playing centre-back in Maguire and play 2 CDMs in front of the defensive line? Doesn't that block forward for Maguire, which is what he did at Leicester? Push one forward when attacking. Yes, very good point, Rafu. Very, very, very good point. Very, very, very good point. You're spot on, pal. You're absolutely spot on. I don't know why we've spent so much money on our back four and then we protect it with 2 CDMs. It's counterproductive. If you're playing Smalling and Jones at centre-back, play 4 CDMs in front of them. But we spent a lot of money on our back four. They don't need 2 CDMs in front of them. Mark, if United score, who do you think will most likely be the scorer? Says Patrick Electus. I actually think Rashford's the most likely goal scorer tomorrow. I do. Yeah. But you know what? As a little bit of a... I'm not basing United getting a result on look at Liverpool team, look at United's team. Of course we're going to get a point. You know, when I look at United's team and I try not to think about it. Pereira on the right wing. Would Brighton and Hove Albion even have Pereira on the wing? No, they wouldn't. So he's crap on the right wing. I don't even know if he's good enough in the middle, but he's definitely crap on the right wing. Who's going to be the number 10? Mata? Grandad Mata? Or Rubbish Lingard? You know, who's the midfield 2 going to be? Matic and McTominay or McTominay and Fred? You know, there's massive issues in that team, and I choose not to think about that because I think if you start thinking about the weaknesses in our team, you basically give Liverpool 3 points, and we can't do that. I choose to look at it not as the players that we've got, but as the occasion, as the fact it's Old Trafford and it's Manchester United versus Liverpool, and you expect something in a game like that. If I look at the actual players that we've got playing and the players they've got playing, you start to get worried. I'm not going to think of it like that. I'm thinking of it as Manchester United against Liverpool at Old Trafford, and I expect something from Manchester United tomorrow. Yeah, that's the best way of putting it, I think. United will sink deeper if Ollie is sacked, says Nils Everett. Well, that's a conversation for afterwards, I think. That is. Please do smash a like on the video, everybody. We've got nearly 7,000 people watching, which is fantastic on a Saturday night. Tomorrow's going to be huge. Kickoff is 4:30. I don't know why it's 4:30. I don't know why we've moved away from 4 o'clock kickoffs to 4:30. There's no other Premier League game tomorrow either, so it should be 4 o'clock, but it's 4:30. We'll be live around 3:30. Team news, build up, really looking forward to that. Obviously watch along all the way through to full time. Flex and the boys are going to be there doing the fan cams afterwards. Very, very big day. I don't think there's a result tomorrow that will not be a big result. Whether it's a win for us, a draw or a loss, there's going to be a lot to react to tomorrow. Get a good night's sleep. Join us tomorrow for it. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. And just as a final word, if you want to join us next Friday night, literally 6 nights away, tickets for the Ryan Giggs event, there are still a few left. Links in the video description. Get yourself down there. Really looking forward to that. An evening with Ryan Giggs. We'll be asking him some questions as well, so get yourself involved in that, and we'll be asking some of your questions that you did a few weeks ago. So it's going to be a very, very good evening. You can be there. I hope to see you there. I definitely hope to see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. I'll speak to you soon.